Success is not an accident, it's a mindset. This fundamental principle has been demonstrated time and again by the world's wealthiest individuals, like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and Mark Zuckerberg. Tony Robbins once said, "It's not about the resources you have, it's about how resourceful you are." But if that's true, why do millions of people remain trapped in mediocrity? Do they lack ambition? Do they fail to recognize opportunities right in front of them? Today's story will reveal the answers to these questions and teach you a life-changing lesson. Along the way, we'll discover how a simple shift in perspective can transform your entire reality. So stay with me until the end, because this story might just change your life. In a small coastal town, there lived a fisherman named David. Every morning he would wake before dawn, take his small boat into the sea, catch just enough fish to sell at the local market, and return home by noon. He earned barely enough to feed his family, but he was content with his simple life. He never thought about expanding his business or dreaming bigger. One day, a wealthy investor named Richard was vacationing in the town. He loved walking along the beach early in the morning, observing the peaceful rhythm of the ocean. During one of these walks, he noticed David returning to shore around 11 in the morning, his boat filled with fresh fish. Curious, Richard approached him and asked, "Those are some beautiful fish you've caught. How long did it take you?" David smiled and replied, "Only about 3 hours, sir. The morning catch is always good." Richard looked puzzled. 3 hours? Then why don't you stay out longer and catch more fish? David shrugged casually. Why would I do that? I have enough to sell at the market, feed my family, and live comfortably. Richard couldn't help but push further. But what do you do with the rest of your day? David's face brightened. Oh, I spend time with my wife, play with my children, take a nap in the afternoon, and in the evening, I meet my friends. We play guitar, laugh, and enjoy life together. It's a good life, sir. Richard paused for a moment, then said, I'm a businessman. Let me give you some advice. If you spend more time fishing, you could catch more fish. With more fish, you could earn more money. With more money, you could buy a second boat. Eventually, you could own a whole fleet of boats. David listened carefully but looked confused. And then what, sir? Then, Richard continued enthusiastically, you could open your own processing plant, control the supply chain, and even export fish to other countries. In 15 to 20 years, you could become incredibly wealthy. David's eyes widened slightly. 15 to 20 years? And then what would I do? Richard grinned. Then you could retire, move to a small coastal town, wake up late, spend time with your family, meet your friends in the evening, play guitar, and enjoy life. David stared at him for a long moment, then burst into laughter. But sir, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Richard stood frozen, speechless. For the first time in years, he had no response. He had built empires, accumulated millions, and sacrificed decades of his life chasing success. Yet here stood a man who already had everything Richard was working toward: peace, time, and happiness. That night, Richard couldn't sleep. David's words kept echoing in his mind. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. He realized something profound. He had spent his entire life climbing a ladder, only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. The next morning, Richard returned to the beach and found David preparing his boat. I've been thinking about our conversation, Richard said. You taught me something yesterday that no business school ever could. You taught me that success isn't just about wealth, it's about knowing what truly matters. David smiled warmly. Sir, I'm not against ambition or growth, but I've learned that real wealth is measured by the quality of your relationships, the peace in your heart, and the freedom to live life on your own terms. Richard nodded slowly. You know, people like Warren Buffett say that the best investment you can make is in yourself, but perhaps the greatest investment is knowing when you already have enough. David extended his hand. Exactly. The richest people aren't always those with the most money. They're the ones who recognize abundance in their lives right now. The two men shook hands, each having learned something invaluable from the other. Richard returned to his city, but something had changed within him. He began spending more time with his family, delegating more responsibilities, and focusing on what truly brought him joy. Years later, Richard wrote a book about his encounter with David. It became a bestseller, inspiring millions to reassess their definition of success. In the introduction, he wrote, I met a fisherman who was richer than me, not because of what he had, but because of what he didn't need. The lesson is clear: before you chase success, define what success means to you. Don't let society dictate your dreams. Don't sacrifice your present happiness for a future that may never satisfy you. Like the great entrepreneur Richard Branson once said, success isn't about how much money you make, it's about the difference you make in people. Sometimes the poorest person is not the one who has little, but the one who needs everything. And sometimes the richest person is not the one who has everything, but the one who needs nothing more. So ask yourself today, am I climbing the right ladder? Am I pursuing success, or am I pursuing significance? Because when you discover what truly matters, you'll realize you may already be living the dream you're chasing. If this story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Comment below about what success means to you, and let's inspire each other to live more meaningful lives. See you in the next story.